we'll have this discussion.
Discussion? What discussion?
This is a discussion combustion.
Coming to you from Denver, Colorado, this is Discussion Combustion Podcast with your hosts, Kevin Batstone and Arthur Rawe.
Welcome back, y'all, to Discussion Combustion Podcast, episode 268. I am sitting in Arthur Rawe's seat here. Kind of unusual, isn't it? Well, we're going to do things a little different this week. Arthur is enjoying his vacation over in Sweden. We're not going to have him zoom in this week with the 8-hour time difference. The man's on vacation. We're going to let him enjoy himself. And we're going to bring in a good buddy of mine, Gregg Langlois, from back in Wolfeboro, New Hampshire. I've known Gregg over 20 years. You know, back when I lived there, I was a young kid. He kind of took me under his wing a little bit, straightened me out in some areas. You know, I was just a young punk just trying to find his way. And you know, Gregg's got some years on me and took me in and kind of showed me the ways a little bit. And he's been a very, very loyal friend ever since. So really excited to bring him in here. And we're just going to kind of chat about some music, you know, about reminisce on some old times. Just a really good guy. If you're ever in Wolfeboro, New Hampshire, you got to go over to the Belli Deli, give him a visit, say hi, check it out. As I'm getting ready to say here on the show, I'll be in New Hampshire come 2025, coming back for a visit. So enough screwing around. Let's get to it. Gregg Langlois, thanks for being here, man.
How you doing, man?
Good. I'm glad we got this to work. For all the viewers and listeners, we had some technical difficulties getting this to work, but I think it's going to work, Gregg.
Yeah, but you know how bad I wanted to do it, so I just kept pumping you to get it set up. So I think we're good.
316, we're podcasting.
Absolutely. All the way over to the mountain side.
That's right.
So
well, it's good to see you, my friend. And so, yeah, for the folks tuning in, you know, listening and watching, Gregg, I met you, 2004? 2005? Like, it was over 20 years ago.
Yeah. We, I think you were like 15 when I worked with you at the Wilders. And for some reason, we made a connection, and I took you in as a little brother, and my ex-wife, enjoyed having you there too, and she still keeps in contact with you, so I think that's awesome, you know.
Yeah, we had a lot of good times for sure. You kind of took me under your wing a little bit. I was a young lad, you know, full of 10 feet tall and bulletproof, mad at the world, and you brought me in. You know, you kind of brought me in your home and showed me the ways a little bit and kind of tightened me up. So I've always been thankful for that.
Well, my dad's always told me that you can only count your true friends in your lifetime on one hand, and you're definitely one of those fingers. So.
You know, it's not very often in life. I mean, the buddies I hold close to me, the Beyond Blood, you know, these are guys I've known like yourself 20 years. You know, you don't come across people that you keep lifelong friendships with. You know, it's rare. Yeah.
But everybody in podcast land don't think that we've always been good boys, because we haven't. He had to come bail me. He had to come bail me out one night at a Poison concert because I got PC'd. But you know, we've always called it Batstone's. What do we call it?
We called it the Batstone's PC service, protective custody at your service.
And he made me roll down the windows the whole way home. It was about a 45-minute ride, and I don't blame him because I stunk.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you reeked of, I think you still had jungle juice stains on your shirt from the Rat Poison concert earlier that night.
Oh, my God, it was terrible. So, but
yep. Well, makes for a good story.
Needless to say, when I got home, I slept well.
I would hope so. But I still
made it for work. So, yeah.
That's good. I mean, work hard, play hard.
So, are you a Broncos fan, or are you a Patriots fan still?
You know, it's funny. I wasn't a Patriots fan growing up in New England, which is kind of weird. Yeah. I should say I wasn't a football fan. I didn't really get into football until right around the time I came to Denver, which was the 2007 Super Bowl when the Patriots went and lost against the Giants for our undefeated season. So from then on, I've been a Patriots fan.
Yeah. Well, that's good. They're making a lot of changes right now. And, you know, it's just like my boys, the Dolphins, you know, I'm getting a good running game going and stuff. But it doesn't happen overnight. It takes a few years. And especially now for you guys that Belichick's gone, it's like rebuilding a house that burnt down.
It's a big reorganizational period for sure. We'll see. I'm excited about Gerard Mayo at the head coach position. You know, Drake May, kind of a young quarterback. You know, we've got just a lot of new blood in the building. So I'm not saying the Patriots are going to go, you know, deep into the playoffs, but I'd like to at least see us maybe get on a wild card and probably lose to your damn Dolphins. Which, how is it, Gregg, that you grew up in Providence, Rhode Island, right? Riverside, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
And so a hop, skip, and a jump from Boston for the folks in Foxborough that don't know that area, and you ended up a Miami Dolphins fan.
I'll tell you, actually, when I was in elementary school up till junior high, I was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And I used to be into guys like Mean Joe Green and Terry Bradshaw and those guys. But don't forget, I got a few years on you. Like the Red Sox, I remember Jim Rice and Dwight Evans and Jerry Remy and, one of my all-time favorite players, Carl Yastrzemski. Yep.
Oh, yeah. That's from the old school days. Well, you were a Sox fan when they weren't winning, right? It wasn't until 2004 when the curse was reversed.
Well, even when I was 12 years old, my best friend, his father was a teacher, a professor up at Bryant College. And me and him at 12 years old, we used to go up because that's where the Patriots did their spring training before Gillette. But what was it called? Sullivan Stadium. Do you remember that?
Well, I remember when it was Foxborough Stadium in 2001 before Gillette was built.
Yeah. Well, before that, it was called Sullivan Stadium before it became Gillette. And before that, they used to go to Bryant College in Providence because they had a good-sized football field, and that's where they went for spring training back in the Steve Grogan days.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah. I mean, I was 12 years old looking up at guys like Don Hasselback, and I was like, oh, my God, they're giants, but they were so friendly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That always leaves a good impression, too, when you meet these guys that you've watched on TV and, you wear their jerseys and then they're nice guys live action.
Oh, I loved it. I mean, I didn't care who I met. I just wanted to meet famous people. So,
yeah. Well, that leads me to my next, memory that I have is when you and I we were big WWF fans growing up. I loved wrestling. We've talked about it in this program before. My former coach, John Ekstrom, is a huge WWF, WWE guy. And you and I went down to one of those house shows.
Oh, you did? How'd you like it?
No, you and I did back in, what year was that?
Oh, no, when we went to the ECW and we met Sandman.
Yeah, what was that, 2006 maybe?
Oh, God, yeah, that was actually CM Punk's debut match.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, that was...
I'll never forget it because, I mean, he's still popular till this day. I don't know why, but he is. I'm not a big fan.
I know, everyone loves him. He's definitely kind of a fan favorite. But, yeah, we met Sandman, which was a really cool experience. I had a shirt signed by him, and I think for folks that follow me on social media, there's a video. I think you remember this, Greg. When I first moved to Denver, I thought I was cool. So I did the Sandman smash on my head, banging the Budweiser can and throwing it over my patio.
Well, I never told you this, but I think when I went to the Poison concert, that's the reason I got arrested. I got PC'd when I left the beer tent because I was doing the Sandman in front of Kurt Wilder.
Oh, Kurt was there?
Oh, yeah, Kurt, Luke Freudenberg, all my buddies were there. Yeah, we went over by boat. Good time. So
I do remember that. I wasn't drinking age, so I wasn't able to go to that concert. But, I mean, great stories, of course. And, yeah, Kurt. You still talk to Kurt?
Occasionally. I don't see him around too much. I mean, he's been busy, and you got so many people in Wolfeboro in the summertime, you don't even see any of the locals,
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. I mean, again, for folks that don't know, I've talked about Wolfeboro, New Hampshire a lot. My hometown, small, still 5,000 people there, Greg, that live there annually, or has it grown?
Oh, yeah, it keeps just adding up. There's more and more people coming up here. So,
well, that's good, though. It's good for the small town business.
Well, absolutely. I mean, in the summertime, you got to take it while you can get it because in the wintertime, it's kind of a ghost town. You know?
It kind of is. It's gorgeous. You got the leaf peepers coming in, and we'll do a free plug for one of my favorite places growing up, and a great place to go get a bite to eat is the full Belli Deli right there in Wolfeboro.
Awesome food, dude. I love making food and sandwiches for people, and yeah, anytime you're in Wolfeboro, I'll set you right up. So.
Yeah, you heard it right there. I mean, if you're in the Wolfeboro, New Hampshire area, visiting, traveling through, whatever, you got to go see Greg over at the Full Belli Deli. That place is just, it's been around for a minute, hasn't it, Greg?
God, it's been around for probably about 35 years. I mean, it's had a couple of different owners, but we always keep the food fresh and, the same. All the menu is all the same, and we might even add some specials in there. So.
And you guys are still old school, right? Like it's sit down and eat, or you can take out. Like e-commerce, like DoorDash and stuff hasn't hit Wolfeboro, or has it?
I heard it has, but it's not really popular around here right now. I guess they're having a hard time getting it in here. So, with town rules and whatnot. So we'll see what happens.
I could see it happening.
I try to stay out of the Wolfeboro politics. No offense. So
probably best to stay out of all politics. Who's kidding who? I've gotten in so many heated discussions on the show. When I talk politics, people get upset. So I don't even do it anymore.
I just like to go in the grocery stores and go around town and meet new people and say hi to the local people that I've known for years. And that's what I like about it. I'm not into confrontation about politics. So,
you never have. You never have. Since the day I met you, you've always been pretty even keeled about that. So I've always respected that. Hunter's IGA was where I first started my employment. I told this story on another podcast here in Denver on John of All Trades about working for Hunter's back in the early 2000s. It burnt down last winter, right? Winter of 22 or 23, Greg, and they've rebuilt. How's that looking?
I'll tell you right now, Kevin, when I first moved into my apartment above the full belly, I had a front row seat to that fire. 2 weeks after I moved in here.
I remember seeing your photos.
Well, we woke up Gina woke up about 10 o'clock at night and looked out the kitchen window, and she could see it straight on. And what a sight that was. Oh, my God, it was devastating.
I remember getting the news the next morning. It burned to nothing. There was nothing left of it.
Oh, it was crazy. Yeah, they still don't know how it started, but, I mean, that's irrelevant, at this point. I mean, the place is nice inside. I mean, the produce is like twice as big now. They got a nice deli. I mean, it's almost like the first time I walked in there, I didn't feel like I was in Wolfeboro. I felt like I was in some other town visiting a store, But I've gotten used to it, and I mean, I like it. It's pretty self-explanatory where everything is, and, the people are good there. So
that's good.
Yeah. So it's nice.
Yeah, that's good. And then you got, of course, Harvest Market, which formerly known as DeWilder's Market, which is, I'm pretty sure that's where you and I met, actually, was working for Dennis DeWilder.
Yep. You were 15 years old, and you were working in dairy.
I was, yeah. I was a dairy man.
You did it all, though. You did grocery and stuff like that, and, you kept yourself busy, and, but I did not like working nights. I'm a morning person. I'd rather get the day done and over with. So.
Oh, yeah. No, you've always been a morning person for sure. Yeah, you'd be leaving work as I was arriving to it. Your day was done as mine was starting.
I get up about probably 10 after 4 every morning, go get my Dunkin' Donuts, and then I head to work. So I like the peace and quiet, too. So nothing wrong with that in the early morning.
Well, then you're home. You're home before everybody else.
Yep, and then I just take a quick nap and recharge my battery.
Crack a couple Steve Weisers and maybe sing a little karaoke.
That's it. Well, I haven't done karaoke in a couple of weeks. I've been working on my puzzles. You ought to see the stack of White Mountain puzzles that I have now. Oh, my God.
Are you still doing the Legos?
No, I actually they took up too much room in this little apartment. I had 3 display cases going, and I ended up selling them. I had about $3,300 worth. So
I remember seeing your display. Yeah,
they were fun to put together, but I mean, they just sat there. So I'd rather give them to somebody. I sold them to a store right up the street. And
really?
They ended up, they sell Legos and stuff, and kids can go in there and build their Legos. So it's called Bricks by the Lake. So, and it's right at the end of Mill Street where I live. So.
Oh, okay. All right. That's cool.
They have tables set up, and they have they have sets you can buy and whatnot. But yeah, they're pretty cool. So
yeah, that is cool. That's cool to see some new businesses coming in.
What's that?
That's cool that the small businesses are doing well there in the town and on the lake.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well for himself. Yeah, he's a very nice family that owns it and whatnot. So yeah.
Well, have you been up to DeWilder Farm in the past few years?
No, actually, about probably 2 years ago, I went up there. I mean, they got great produce and pumpkins and stuff like that, and the flowers are awesome. But I might take a ride up there for apple season to go pick some apples.
Oh man,
it's almost apple crisp season, especially with these last couple of days here. How is it up there? Is it still hot up there?
That's the thing about Denver, for folks that don't like, when you think Denver, you think we're this Aspen, Colorado mountain town, which we really aren't. We're kind of a high desert here in Denver, so it's not uncommon for us to see 98, 100 degrees for months on end, well into the fall. Like, our weather here is very strange. It's not like back home. I always explain to people that, like, New England weather is very consistent. You can look at a calendar and know what to expect. It's not that way here.
Right. It's it's kind of like it could snow, it could rain.
It could do anything.
You know?
I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen it 70 degrees in January. I've seen it snow on Mother's Day. So you just don't know what you're going to get.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
so,
it is. But
it must be cool. It must be cool out there. I'll have to take a road trip one day and come see you.
I know. I've been saying that for years, although I'm well overdue. And I went on record on a couple episodes ago to say that I will be at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway race in 2025. So once I say it on the pod, once I say it on air, Greg, there's no, they got to hold my feet to the fire. I'll be there.
Is there a reason for that? The 2025?
Well, I think for me, the best way to come home would be for a race, right? Because with my other show that I do, Mash the Gas podcast, NASCAR related, it would make sense for me to come back for a visit and hit the race at the same time. It looks like it's going to be next September.
Nice.
So I'll come snuggle up with you.
I was gonna say you already got a place. You don't have to spend a dime. So and you'll be fed well.
Oh yeah.
So, but it's always a good time, and I'll be looking forward to it. So
yeah. No, we're gonna make that happen for sure, among some other things. But yeah, man, it's just good to have you on. It's good to catch up a little bit. Kind of.
Awesome.
Get the word out there a little bit. I want to touch on your rock and roll days too a little bit, Greg. Because like I was saying, for folks that follow you on social media, you'll see, Greg was in a band. You played, it was a Livewire, it was an AC/DC cover band, right?
Yeah, for 17 years.
That's what you were doing when I met you. You were out, gigging in your early 30s, getting hammered every night. Still made it to work.
Oh, dude, I'm surprised I'm still alive some days, to be honest with you. I mean, the habits that I get into and stuff, but, now, again, I'm 51 years old, and I work hard, and I come home and want to have a couple of buds, and that's it.
Yeah.
So,
do you miss it at all?
I miss the singing and being in the band part of it. I don't miss all the partying and shit that came with it. No.
See, that's the thing. It's hard to be in a band without. I mean, when I would play with the Ridge Runners here in Denver, man, it was rough. Just the drugs and alcohol, no sleep, gigging out. It's a tough lifestyle.
Well, like I said, in the long run, look what happened to my lead guitar player.
Yeah.
He's done.
R.
40 years old. So, yeah. But, I mean, I still talk to the other two. I still talk to, as a matter of fact, Chuck and Nate went with me to Godsmack.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago. So,
where'd they play?
They played over in Guilford.
Oh, over at, I used to call it Meadowbrook. What's it called now?
I still call it Meadowbrook. It's called the Bank in New Hampshire or something stupid like that. So
yeah, that's how it is out here too. They rename these venues and we still call it what it was 20 years ago.
It's changed completely around, Kevin. I mean, it's ridiculous. But they've added stuff. It looks nice, but the price of everything is just. I paid $20 for a Coors Light 18 ounce or 24 ounce, I think it was.
$20?
Yeah. $20. Yeah.
For a tall boy.
Yeah.
Good God.
Then I was so tired, I fell asleep halfway through the concert because I get up so early. And good thing Nate was sitting next to me, and I trust him. But I ended up falling asleep. I kicked my $20 beer over, and yeah, I had enough of that night.
Yeah, I saw him out here. I saw that same tour. They kicked it off here in Denver. I was at that show. And the audio was terrible at the show I went to. There's a place here in Colorado called Fiddler's Green. It's kind of similar to Meadowbrook. Kind of saying it's like an acoustic outdoor venue, so rain or shine or whatever. And
right.
Sully and those guys were good, but I just think the sound guys jacked it up. It wasn't that good, I didn't think.
Oh wow, huh? Yeah, I think they were pretty tight at Meadowbrooks. I mean, I didn't have a problem with them, but it's again, I was so tired, and I had a couple of beers in the limo on the way there, and I was just exhausted. So,
oh, damn. You guys went in with a limo, huh? You went in with style.
Yeah, we Cliffy. Cliffy drove his limo over there.
Cliff,
so,
remind me of Cliffy. I probably do know him.
Eric Clifford.
All right, yeah. It's been many years.
Yeah, I know it's been many years, but yeah, he went with us, his son, and we went with a bunch of other people, and we all chipped in it was $120 just to park the limo.
Yeah.
but we had a good time, but it just turned into a shit show later on, and it makes me not even want to go to concerts anymore. Just because every time you go with people that are planning on partying, expect a long night.
Well, yeah, that's isn't that the truth? I mean,
Yeah.
and
So-
it's a pretty good hike over there too, isn't it? About an hour from Wolfeboro.
Yeah, about that. Yeah, but you wouldn't even know it's sitting in a limo drinking. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. When you got cocktails and a chauffeur, you're like, who cares?
Well, it wasn't cocktails. It was more like coolers and Pabst Blue Ribbon. So,
Coolers and PBR. That sounds like you're headed to a country show.
Yeah, I was going to say, you think we're going to see Zach Brown, but
You're not much of a country guy though, are you?
no, I'm not a fan of country, unfortunately. No.
Even what about kind of shit back in your late '80s, early '90s country?
Well, I'll listen to like Kenny Rogers or Juice Newton or Eddie Rabbit or somebody like that. But I'm not like a Jason Aldean. I'm not, I'm trying to accept Jelly Roll right now. I like some of his stuff.
Yeah, what do you think about that? Like, I like Jelly Roll as a person. I think I've listened to him on a lot of podcasts. He's a very humble person.
He's come a long way. I mean,
he was incarcerated.
He was down and out for a while, but I mean, and his wife always stuck by him, which is really cool. But they actually had him at SummerSlam this year.
Oh, was he there? I think I might have saw something about that. Yeah, you made it when you're.
He made a couple of different appearances. In one appearance, he came in there and he choke slammed. I think the guy's name is Austin Theory.
Okay.
But he choke slammed him with one arm. I mean, it was just crazy to see. You'll have to YouTube it. It's funny.
Yeah. No, I'm actually taking a look. I'm pulling it up here off to the side. Yeah, no, Jelly Roll's all right.
Oh, the reason he was there, he was promoting his new album. He came in there and sang a song called Liar.
Was it any good?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
He sang it right in the ring. So, yeah, it was pretty good.
I like some of his stuff. I like, when he first, I first heard him on, there's a station here called KDPI Rocks the Rockies, which is all rock, metal, whatever. And that's where he debuted, was kind of like a rock and roll guy. And then he's gone over to, it seems like everybody's migrating to country. Look at Post Malone. Are you a fan of him?
I think he's a good person. I'm not into his music, but I've seen videos of him. He takes care of all the kids and, people that appreciate him. He's a very appreciative guy.
Yeah,
I can't stand. I mean, you look at him and you're like, oh, this guy's nasty. You look at all the tattoos. It's the same thing with Jelly Roll. They're there for the people.
And Jelly Roll had a tough road. He was incarcerated for a while. I'm not sure what he did.
But
me neither. He goes and plays at that jail in Tennessee that he spent time in for the inmates and stuff, and tries to motivate people. It's good to see. You can turn your shit around and be number one on the country charts.
Well, I mean, look how far he's turned himself around. I mean, he's not even going to. He made an appearance at Meadowbrooks a couple of years ago, but now he's got tickets on sale at the Boston Garden.
Oh, interesting. The Boston Garden.
So he's not coming back to Meadowbrooks.
No, he's too big now. He's got to go to the arena shows.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So I mean, he deserves it. God bless him.
Well, absolutely. When you're selling out arenas like that, there's no question. I mean, look at Metallica. Metallica won't play anything smaller than Gillette Stadium now. They play these massive football stadiums only.
They were just at Gillette Stadium 2 weeks ago.
I saw that. They sounded great.
A friend of mine, Troy Glidden, he got him and his son tickets. It was $800.
Damn, for 2 tickets?
Yeah, for 2 tickets. Yeah.
I know. I looked at going with my co-host from Mash the Gas down in Dallas, Texas, and it was the same thing. It was $400 to sit up on the top row where the Cowboys play.
Right.
Like I'm not spending $400 to see Metallica look like ants.
Yeah, I agree with you. Especially years ago when I lived in Rhode Island, I actually met Lars Ulrich.
Oh yeah, you did tell me that story. He was a solid guy. What, didn't he have you get in his limo with him?
Yeah, it was only me and like maybe 6 other people. He had just come out of 94 HJY, the radio station. And he came out and he let everybody come in his limo, take pictures, sign autographs. And, yeah, really cool dude. And he still had long hair then.
So this had to have been, I mean, if he still had long hair, this was what, not early 90s?
It was, you know what? It was actually the night I was going to see him at the Providence Civic Center. It was the Black Tour.
Okay, so like 91, 92?
Yeah, right around there. Yeah, they were still pretty young, but what are you going to do?
I mean, they've been playing for 40 years. Kill 'Em All came out in 83.
Jesus. Well, they obviously love what they're doing. So,
oh, yeah. Well, and they have a monster fan base. I mean, the fans that they had, like me growing up, now you have all these new kids that are fans of the new, Hardwired to Self-Destruct album and the 72 Seasons. They have all these new fans.
Yep. I've always liked Metallica. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan when I first got into high school, but they kind of built on you. But I like old Metallica, like when Cliff Burton was with them.
You know, it's crazy because when you think of Cliff, he was only there from 83 to 86 and a half-ish, right, when he got killed in that bus.
Right.
You know, but the three of their best albums, right? You had Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets.
Well, I think Ride the Lightning was probably my favorite album.
I think it was the heaviest. I mean, Kill 'Em All was definitely very, a lot of Dave Mustaine, right? Because Mustaine had a lot of involvement with that record before they booted him out.
He didn't sing on that album, though.
No,
he played guitar on it, but he didn't sing.
He riffed on, what was it, Jump in the Fire and Seek and Destroy. But yeah, it was all Hetfield singing.
Yep. So
that's good stuff.
But I never knew that Am I Evil was a cover originally.
Oh, it's a cover?
Yeah.
Who did it originally?
Look it up. I can't remember who did the original, but if you look it up, they covered somebody else. So, but I mean, I still love the song. I mean, but I can't. You'll have to look it up to see who actually did that. So best show you ever been to, of all time? Me?
Yeah.
Oh God, dude, there's been. I don't know. That's a hard choice.
Yeah, I don't know for me either.
I'll have to say, like, my favorite bands, like, when I saw Judas Priest and Megadeth together, that was nuts. But then I saw the Ramones at Rhode Island College, and I mean, that's like two different things. I mean, but they were both awesome shows.
Some time ago, yeah.
And I'll tell you, I got to see Rush 3 times, and
yeah.
Neil Peart was just, I'm fortunate that I got to see a lot of people that aren't around anymore, like Tom Petty, Rush, and amongst other people. But I mean, I used to save a lot of my ticket stubs. I still have quite a bit, but I think my sister took some of my other ones.
Well, there is no ticket stubs anymore because everything's digital. You get these, QR codes on your phone.
I hate that because I always looked at it as a souvenir.
100%. Yeah, they do the same thing over in NASCAR. You get your digital ticket and then you can pay extra for a paper ticket. It's like, come on, guys.
Come on. They get you any way they can.
Yeah, because I've always collected ticket stubs and put them in frames or next to whatever.
Right.
To commemorate
I have one. Just like you just said, I have a framed with all different ticket stubs on it. It kind of looks like a puzzle almost,
It's just packed with Ticketmaster little stubs.
Yeah, I mean, there's like I said, there's like Judas Priest, Tom Petty, and not Kansas, David Lee Roth, stuff like, old school tickets.
David Lee Roth, yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't so great, but it is what it is.
Well,
no, that's why I always thank myself when I saw Van Halen. It was Sammy Hagar.
Man, Sammy Hagar, what a beast. He's like 74 or 75 now.
Yeah, he just came to the Xfinity Center in Mansfield, Mass. about 2-3 weeks ago.
I heard a rumor. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I heard a rumor that those guys are going to do Chickenfoot again. That Chickenfoot's going to go back on a tour. Do you remember Chickenfoot?
Yeah, I remember that. It was Michael Anthony and Sammy Hagar.
And Joe Satriani.
Oh, he was. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right. So kind of like a new version of Damn Yankees.
I thought they had some pretty cool songs. They kind of a cool sound. I mean, great musicians. I mean, Satriani, probably one of the most underrated guitar players, I would say, of all time. I mean, I think he's in the conversation.
I remember him from back in high school.
Oh yeah, ripping. I mean, massive grip. As a guitar player, I always kind of looked up to him because that's always a big conversation, right? Is who's the best guitar player?
Yngwie Malmsteen, he was another one. He was a good guitar player, But yeah, there's tons of. I mean, then you got to look at people like Eddie Van Halen, and it depends on what kind of music you like. Because you might say that like somebody like Dimebag Darrell or somebody was the best guitar player. It depends on what kind of music you're listening to. Did you ever see
Pantera?
No.
Never saw them.
Huh? They actually, when they came to Gillette Stadium, they actually opened up for Metallica.
That's right, and that's when Zach Wilde from Black Label Society stepped in to play Dimebag's part. He went on tour with those guys and filled in.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if you're a Zach Wilde fan, but I've seen Zach probably 3 times.
Yeah, we used to play a song by them in the band. We used to play Stillborn.
Oh, what a great song. Yeah, great song.
Oh, I used to love it. You know, when I first heard that song, when I heard Zach Wilde's voice, I thought it was Ozzy.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the dude went on a world tour with Ozzy when he was 19.
Yeah, but the voice, when I first heard it, I was like, that's Ozzy. So, but it wasn't. It was Zach Wilde.
Yeah,
so.
Ozzy. That's somebody that's not doing well. And then you heard about Steven Tyler, right? His voice is done.
So is David Coverdale's.
They're done. They
from
can't.
Whitesnake.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that the guy from Whitesnake blew his voice out as
Oh,
well.
I was supposed to see them twice. One time was with Judas Priest over at Meadowbrooks, and he blew his vocal cords. And the same thing, the next time I was supposed to see him, same thing happened. So it's like, give it up.
Well,
you know?
That's what Steven Tyler did. He had to cancel the show here at Denver, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna, reschedule." And then he came out. He's like, "I can't. I'm done. My voice is cooked."
Yeah. Well, you gotta know when to quit. You know. I'd rather go out with a good name than kick my own ass and look like shit. You know, that people remember me by.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I mean, and when is enough? Like, James Hetfield just turned 60. I bet those guys play another 5 or 6 years.
I would say so. They'll probably come out with at least one more album.
Well, and I'll tell you who's on my bucket list right now. I was talking to my co-host from Master Gas, AC/DC. I've never seen them, and their song "Shot in the Dark" has been like the theme song of this podcast for 4 years now. Came off one of their newer records during COVID. So,
yeah,
I'd love to see. You've seen AC/DC a time or two, no?
I saw them once at Gillette Stadium. It was the oh my God, what's the one with the train? Rock, I can't remember. Black Ice.
Black Ice, yeah, that came out right after I moved out to Denver.
Yeah, that was the year I saw them down at Gillette Stadium. I really liked them, but I don't know if I'd see them now though, because they don't have what's his name anymore, the rhythm guitar, Malcolm.
Oh, Malcolm's no more, huh?
Yeah, Malcolm passed away a couple of years ago, and just they're starting to get old. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, Brian Johnson's what, 75, 76?
He's got to be up there. So,
rock and roll.
Rock and roll, dude. So, All right, man. Are you going to have a good night? What are you going to do after this?
Probably do some editing, get ready to go. Happy Friday America is coming on this channel this week with a kind of a special guest co-host with Arthur being in Sweden. Again, Art's not around, so we're goofing off while he's out of the country.
Good for you. Hey, When the cat's away, the mice will play.
Something like that. That. Yeah, cool, man. Appreciate you jumping on. I know it's 2 hours later
problem.
there. So
it's always a pleasure to talk to you. So
yeah, and then you can watch this back and make fun of us on here goofing around and send it to your friends.
Yes, send it to me once you get it edited.
I think I'm just gonna send it tonight. What is today? Wednesday, August 21st. We're gonna drop it immediately.
Yeah, what's it? Only 5 o'clock at your place?
Yeah, we just hit 5 here in Denver.
Yeah, I'm hitting 7.
Normally I'd be cracking a cold one, but 3 months off alcohol.
Oh Jesus, really?
Yeah, 3 months no booze. Feeling good, man. Yeah, I had to give it up. I mean, you go back and watch old episodes of this show. I was drunk on most of the episodes. I would drink 6-8 beers during the show.
Yep.
So
hey, it's not a bad thing, but it's not going to do your stomach any justice.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the
thing.
Believe
me, look. So it is what it is. But
oh man,
all right, Joe. I appreciate you having me on the show.
Yeah, this was cool. We were able to make it work via technology. Thanks to Facebook for helping us out with that. And it was great catching up, man, for sure. I'm going to be in New Hampshire next year. Mark my words.
All right. I'm going to hold you to it, and you got a place to stay always.
Sounds good, man. Well, thanks again for hopping on. Get yourself some rest. I will talk to you soon.
All right, man. See you, podcast fans.
Well, that was fun. It was great to have Gregg on and catch up a little bit. You're just a great guy. I need to get back and see him, which I'm going to do next year in 2025. Mark my words. I will be there. I will come back for a visit for sure. So thanks again, Gregg, for hanging out and having some fun here on DCPC. It's time to shut her down. Clint Gershenson and myself are bringing you Happy Friday for the first time ever this week. Art's going to enjoy the rest of his vacay. He's back next week. So join Clint and I Friday morning for a fantastic show. Be good to yourselves. You deserve it.